Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome back to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. So I want to talk about the statues that we all know are coming very soon. Now there's quite a bit of little nuanced details that I want to cover with you guys to make sure that you fully understand what these are about, what we currently know, and potentially when we're going to get them. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
I want to play.
Okay, so this was the first thing that was posted about the statues, and this was a while ago. They talked about how staking rewards were set to go live in November. However, we know that this has been pushed out to this month, December, because they were focused on the marketplace. They do talk about how they have a special surprise in store for landowners, one for legendary, and also the 2 statues from the staking rewards, they're coming very soon. So it sounds like the 2 staking reward statues are separate from this special surprise one as well. And yes, they'll be exclusive NFTs, which means we're going to be able to trade, which is pretty awesome. Now, just so you guys are aware, if we take a look at the old staking pools, this is actually where 2 of the original statues first came from. Now, the very first staking season actually was going to give us the gold statue. Now, it actually took a while. You had to have it staked for 9 months. And I remember they wanted to get this out in the beginning to kind of help us progress with our base. So they're a little less useful now, but they're going to be very useful for new players coming in. And I would argue any benefit is going to help you progress over a long enough time, even if the percentage that it contributes to gold is low. Like, we don't really know. I'm pretty sure it's going to impact collectors, but maybe it can impact storages. We don't really have those details fully yet. But either or, I think this is going to be really high demand because this is an NFT with utility, right? It's not just like the skins. Although the skins look incredible in game, I would argue the statues and consumables are the most valuable things. Fast forward quite a few different staking seasons to staking season 5, and this is where we had the time statue. Now, what I thought was very interesting about this, they kind of did it different, where it was a 6-month staking period, and as long as you had staked for 3 months, you were able to get the time statue. So you could start like 2.5 months into the season and still get the 3-month time period. But in base builder games, time is always the most valuable resource. Any way to save time, whether it's fast training troops, fast building buildings, fast researching, is extremely valuable. So I would think that this is probably going to be the single most valuable NFT in the game. Now, it's interesting because we know that there was 22 or 4,200 lands that were staked during that season. We don't know if they all necessarily met the 3-month requirement. So let's just say 4,000 of them. So in the beginning, it might be interesting because in the beginning, depending on how many traders, we might not see huge price appreciation, but over a long enough time, with more players coming into the game, everyone is going to want this statue. So I'm really stoked for these. I remember I even picked up a whole handful of extra commons right before the deadline, like when we were like 2.5 months in, just so you could get some extra time statues. But I think this one in particular is going to be highly, highly sought after, and everyone is essentially going to want one of these time statues on their base, but we know there's only probably about 4,000 of them. So if we take a look over in the marketplace, I'm not really sure where the statues are going to go. My best guess is they would go under decorations if they had to put them in some category. Otherwise, hopefully we do see another tab and it just says consumables. Now, I want to jump in game because I want to show you guys how we know that they're coming as well, because this was kind of the first thing we seen in game was at the top of your base. Let's just jump in here. So we can see up at the top of your base, there's now Balloon Guy is always there saying hi. There's now these different icons. Now, it's pretty interesting when you think about, well, what are these exactly? Well, this one's definitely probably luck, right? And we know luck works with land in the way that, you get better sapphire from your obstacles and eventually maybe NFTs. That's how luck's supposed to work. This one's clearly time because it shows a clock, so I assume time statue. This one is gold because it matches the symbol of gold. This one is definitely oil. And then this one is shield. And this is very interesting because we knew about the gold time statue, So one could have deduced that, oh, there has to be an oil one. But luck, I did not expect, nor did I expect shield. Now, the interesting part is going to be, are we going to see multiple versions of statues for each of these categories? Like, is there going to be a rare gold statue, a mythic gold statue? Is there going to be different types of luck statues? Or is there only going to be one? So I would assume that there's going to be multiple variations over a long enough time period, because if these are staring you down on your base, players are going to want to fill them. But if there's only ever 4,000 time statues, that means most people are not going to have the time one. I'm very curious to see how Mavia does this and what kind of benefits we're going to get from the initial statues. Plus, if we're getting time and gold, and we know there's one more exclusive one coming for landowners, maybe that's the luck? Not really entirely sure. Either or, I'm super excited for this. This is something we've been waiting for since the very first staking season, so many years. And statues, I've always talked about this when I covered the Ruby mass ownership model. I've talked about it a lot in Discord, that statues and consumables are the most valued things because of the utility that they have. Now, the skins are amazing because of how well they look in game, and there's always going to be value there. Same with the decorations. We can see some decorations are quite valuable. Man, when you start doing things like adding utility to your base through NFTs, this is where I think things are going to get really interesting. Okay, I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Are you excited about the statues? What's some of your guesses? How do you think they're going to work? Leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for being subscribed to the channel, by the way. It really makes a big difference. Do me a favor and smash that like button. See you all in the next video. Cheers.